this song. They wanted 11:28 into this album. It's definitely not too sad, Granat, like was said on Honey Pump, that it's too sad and or something. None of the words seem to be pronounced, but let me say that why would they have been selling drugs in the mail since the early 90s, changing from addresses to dark web internet, that this country lets that go on. Aside from that I was talking about making it legal, making these things legal. B, I painted that painting. The comment on Honey Pump about newsprint being better for EMF or whatever because of electromagnetic frequencies. Just really lame and discouraging, like the hype that was brought up through the typing on that website, way people acting towards certain things. I think that was the girl in the Dust from 1,000 Years live performance. She's like blonde girl with like quote unquote regular boy's haircut, like pushing her head forward at him. They had her drive by me. I think I'm remembering now that Molly was going to these people's house for ecstasy, supposedly, so that they cut her there, and they were people gang stalked that couldn't leave their house. So they did that to see what happened while people were watching their house on cameras, and that they were writing that I would be, what about people that are brought lemons as a courtesy thing? It wasn't courtesy thing, but as like a respect thing, or like, on that website. But it was just generally really turned off by all that, bothering me, making me paranoid, being a famous person, having too much of my business, having other people around me that want to be as respected as I am and going to be bothered by it, when these people have been around drugs or whatever their whole life, and like that I've been, like, I took Dramamine when I was 14, started doing it again when I was 17, only 12 packs, not 20 packs. 20 pack hurt way more physically. The 12 packs really didn't mess with me. I mean, I could feel the arthritis-like symptoms, but it wasn't really as disorienting as the thing, that it wasn't as fucked up as the thing. I was smaller then, it was hard on my body. Just all this stuff really bothering me. Then then like really not getting respect from that painting when I bring it to that art store. We're really not getting anybody to say anything about it, that they talked about it on the internet, and the lady said to me, maybe you can go upstairs if you want, and she wrote on the internet that there are accounts for it. That's how, if you have that, like that painting, because supposedly it was something that, like, when I was a little kid they were talking about it. Josh was saying I was a painter, that people were saying I'd be painters. The kid from Cambridge said that he saw it in my head or whatever, which I'm wondering about if that was a real thing, talking about some other thing that looked like flames, which was an oil painting, which he said could be an oil painting, but it was moving and the other one wasn't moving. And I'm wondering really now if that was something that they did just to pin me up, to get me to have pride, that it wasn't something from some type of like sleep survey that they told me about when I was a little kid, or that they showed me when I was like a baby or whatever. And if they did have that, wouldn't that mean that everybody on that website had those things, and like, that they were letting people on that website try mushrooms with like the vets and the people watching the cameras on the houses, people were checking themselves into mental institutions after or whatever, some people are keep doing them. The kid I was getting shrooms from, they were calling him Red Oxide because he had red hair and the red oxide paint, and that he was like, whatever, I think they said he was banging on the website or something like that. I'm really not sure what that was. They were talking even too that he thought that the song he learned was part of his Mormon brainwash as a baby or something like that, and he thought he was in the band or whatever, but it was something somebody else wrote or whatever. That's what they wrote on the website. Maybe I'm remembering it incorrectly, but I'm remembering a lot of it, and a lot of it correctly, still remembering stuff from it. So it's just like, I don't really think too much of it. I don't really think that they wrote that it was part of a Mormon sleep study because the people around there or at MIT. Did they write it at MIT, or was it a Mormon sleep study or a study at MIT? And then I was listening to the MIT radio, so I thought it was the MIT radio station. Then I remember them showing me the Lusty Ghost font or whatever. I remember them holding me in front of paintings when I was a little kid. I remember the paintings looks like, but I don't really ever remember being in a room that I was that small of a baby that they put me in a room with like in A Clockwork Orange, held me down and like put like screens on in front of me when I was a baby, and that I was paying attention to it, or I looked autistic, that's why I thought I was going to be successful, or people around the bakery were all getting gang stalked and had faith that I would be a painter, which was something that they were talking to my father about 2060. They had 2060 conversations in the bakery when I was like older. People were talking about it. The lady that blew the hit in my face at the store when I was younger, she was playing records for me. I think they had a table in there I was standing on. They had kids tuning the guitar. That they were watching TV in front of me one time. I was watching Gumby, and that there was that they said that I like looked at some blonde girl. It was a Gumby or an episode of Sesame Street on YouTube that I got to from watching Gumby. That I remember the kid, one of the kids that looked like the kid in Palm. I think they even had the kid that does the Boston Palm one with the more circular head. That he was there when he was younger, friends with that Picketus girl on the message board probably, that he was like standing hunchback in front of the store. My father went over and talked to him. I've talked about this on YouTube before, so I'm wondering, like, when I was really young baby, they showed me all this stuff, or I was just digging around with chords and got the idea for Air Portal because it sounded like something from Drugs or whatever, and it just the lyrics came to me, which could be, I mean, but it also could be they showed me the song on the message board. They were talking about a police officer hearing me outside, or my sister got a camera from somebody, and that they were having her record me back then. That they said it. They were talking on the message board. The person has a song called Air Portal, and that this one on the message board that wrote that was just something that he got from their store or whatever. Meaning the Deep Thoughts record store. So I'm just wondering what they're talking about doing all this stuff, what it was or whatever. I remember them playing keyboard stuff at me. They did the blowing crap at my house. I specifically remember them talking about that when I was older, and I remember the keyboard guy outside, raped by a dog, my mother walking over with them, and like when I was watching it outside, maybe I was babysitting with my father's friend, and my mother came over, that he was playing that song, doing like a similar thing of that. So it's just like really like that Guster, that song is like a fake song written by, which someone wrote on the message board that they asked the person in Guster, and they said no about me kind of finding the other part of that riff from that Guster song, that they said no, that wasn't what it was. So I have no credit for writing that. Supposedly that they wrote on the message board trying to trick me, that I have no credit or whatever, that Ryan was saying that he was hearing banging noises, which I know weren't there from hearing the song, that got banging noises from outside, which were getting him to change the drum beats in the parts, and it was kind of similar how he used to drum from when he started drumming on other people's drum kits when we were in the first band and he was playing bass. So I don't know if they taught him that, or if it was just something he started doing, that he picked up on it when I did the intro to that song, like on that recording that we were playing for like a half hour or whatever before trying to do the first part or whatever. Then I tuned the guitar again and just did that part, and then he started doing the drums, and that's what he wrote on the message board. And then they said he was banging with Josh's drummers, and he was doing a bad job doing it. I think that he was saying he was trying to learn pop punk at his house, and that the end of the song was one of the same fills from one of the Dust from 1,000 Years during like the Star Spangled Banner, similar notes part, that's like a drum roll in it. So that's why he said I was banging at him, that he thought it was telepathic or EMF or whatever, and that was his like life's work or something like that. Or that they were recording me outside my house, and that they got the parts, and then I told Molly about that stuff, that could record me outside and she could play the music. I'm not sure if they probably recorded me outside or they didn't record me outside, or that she did the parts herself or she didn't do the parts of herself, but that cutting stuff that they did to her, that was hazing. Maybe she did like me, and that she was like brainwashed into thinking sex was cool or whatever, and that she told me she had a sweating disorder, so maybe, and that she would like sweat when we had sex, and that was like something that she liked it. Then we stopped having sex because I didn't think she liked sex, because when I like gave her oral sex, she'd try to like do the same thing, but I thought that she didn't, so maybe she did. And then like I told her that she could have kids with Luke or whatever, that she should, but I was thinking now that she was trying to screw me over to have kids with Luke, and that she doesn't like that kid Luke, she was saying before, and that like she thought I was cool for being in that band and didn't want to have a kid because she did drugs or something like that, and didn't think she was healthy enough because she was as a retainer and she met a bunch of people with herpes or some shit like that. Maybe that's what it is, or it isn't what it is, but I feel like she's trying to screw me over, or felt like she tried to screw me over. So I'm saying all this shit now, that there's no way I can go to any therapists again. There's no way I can talk to you, that I talk to you about stuff, that you won't fucking say anything, that it's all medication issues and shit like that they don't give advice for life or whatever, and that it's all bullshit. I don't feel like dealing with it. I can't take that medication. I can't go to hospitals. Like, if you want to make a hospital I can go to take LSD, that would be fine. You can smoke pot. That like I don't smoke one bowl a day, do like classes or whatever, do like painting days and stuff. I would like that, but they don't have that. That they send people outside, that they send them drugs in the mail, that they say that they keep coming, that they have people in Boston who say they've been getting that stuff from the mail for years or whatever on that message board, or different places that people get that stuff in the mail, that they say that the packages always come on that message board. It seems to be that way, that like they said that the people that send them send them from houses where that the people are surveyed, but they never fucking get in trouble for it. That they either play beeping noises at their house, or that they're from areas where all of the people are in gangs, and that the police can't really come and like have people play beeping noises at their house or slam car doors at them, that like the police order the packages themselves and do things with them, as people were saying with this area, that I'm not sure, it could be people from this area or whatever, but from what I understand, that anybody can order the packages, that police order the packages, that they give them out to people, and that they do things to get people in trouble and gang stalk people that they don't want in society. That I painted that painting, that there's no way that you can tell me that I'm wrong, that you're going to keep gang stalking me, that they said that they would stop gang stalking me on that website, that my mother's joking, letting people harass them while she's sleeping, to hurt herself, hoping my sister can have a kid. That seems pretty unlikely. That they said on that website that they'd be harassing her around her sleep cycle, watching when she wakes up, or thought that she had to go to the bathroom, that you start doing it more, then that's screwed up. That they weren't doing it for a few nights, that they do it every once in a while. I wake up at 2 in the morning when she's usually going to bed or something like that. They did it a couple times. That it seems like she could be going to her other friends' houses and they could be paying her at the job. They said that she would just be the shift supervisor there at the time, and that she wouldn't even have to work when that time came if I had that painting, because other people would want to pay for it and pay for her. That's stuff that they were writing on the message board, but you keep doing all this stuff to freak me out and make me anxious. That I talked to Molly about playing noise music here and doing the painting and not playing after 7 or 8 o'clock, and you telling me to stop when I did the painting, which I brought the drum set downstairs and played quieter and wasn't doing it very loud, wasn't doing it very often, didn't think I was loud, didn't think I was bothering people, was playing acoustic guitar in the yard soft, didn't think anybody could hear me, people gang stalking me, people looking at me the wrong way, whatever else. people reading too much into me, people looking at me, bad stuff happened to me because disgusting people work at my job. Dave Santella told me they were going to hit me with a Volvo. They were talking about it on the message board, that it was some lady with 2 kids, that's what happened, that it screwed me over. I think it was after I created the painting that you're really like hurting me, going the wrong way, making it so I can't have hobbies, fulfill my hobbies, use my higher learning or whatever. That Airportal song sounds good in that thing or whatever. I was talking to Molly even about it after, wasn't sure if Dave Santella talked to me about it. I was passed out at his house because I tried drinking a bunch of Zycam, and that he was talking to me about it and all the stuff that would happen, that I got the idea for it. That I said, because I got Condraditis in 2003 to hit me with a guitar card to see if I got Condraditis from playing guitar, that Dave Santella said that they were going to let it happen because I recorded that song, and so I would find out that I got hit with so I would find out that I remember that I got hit with guitar then, or find out that it was from playing guitar then, from holding my breath, because there was someone watching the house on one of those monitors, and that they said I was like holding my breath the entire time. I was talking to Pat about what was wrong with me. I thought it was my kidneys or something. That they said it was Condraditis. That I was passing kidney stones I passed a kidney stone at the time too. So that I thought it was something like really wrong with me. That now I realize that it's Condraditis. That it comes from holding the guitar neck. So it probably came from holding the guitar neck then. So I just don't really know why and how people could keep harassing me if I painted that painting, how you can't respect all this other stuff that people have done, that it's not like people strung out, that I proved it, that it seems like that they send these packages, that they wrote that they let people out of prison to go to places when they won't respond to it, to try art and do things and prove if they deserve the things, and that they even had kids with an address around here, that when they ordered the packages, people would come and whistle at their house or whatever, and it was bothering some girl in the neighborhood or bothering people from studying in the neighborhood, and that those people were on Social Security too. I'm not sure if that was a lie or not. It seemed like it could be a real thing, because why do I keep getting these packages? Where the fuck did it keep coming from? That they were selling me Nirvana weed, telling me which strands they were in 2003, and telling me what the bags that they gave me look like over the message board. And that what the size containers that I grew them in, and what the nugs would look like after I dried them out in the bag, if I used like gallon water bottles, a 5-gallon bucket, or a plastic jug, and that those were people from Marlboro. They posted their pictures of people from Marlboro. There were pictures of police officers that they posted on the website. They were talking about the state police officers that would come and talk when I was on the bus, that they posted some of their pictures too, that they've been around my house making noise, gang stalking me, making noises, using catchphrases or whatever, bringing people around my house, bringing my father's friends around my house, that they had like cough and other whatever else when I was a little kid, and like at me and cough at me when I was a little kid, and like other people around my house and all of this sorts of stuff, playing noises at me, bringing rap music, which they wrote they were going to be gang stalking with me with on the message board and whatever else, and that they keep doing this stuff, and that I sent those paintings to that other place, that I have that place painting at that other place, that it's not like I'm stopping you from seeing those things, that you're harassing me from even bringing the painting to where I want, that they have a store that's like, they have a store on Main Street that's supposedly like a similar color, which they said could be the place for the painting at the store, like Casa de Nutrition or something like that. They said I could like go try to find those people or talk to them, maybe through advocates. They said I could do that. That they had one girl, I think was going to high school, that she said she wore sweatpants at one of those black market flea markets, that they said, and they were only going to let her talk to me if that there were birds there or something like that, because like she was like with other people or something like that. I'm not sure if that was what that was. I think that was that girl. I think she went to Marlboro High School. They had some other girl at the grocery store instead of the girl who they had, that's the same name as the guy in Swirlies. Her dad had the same name, and that they named her the same thing, that they thought maybe she would be a painter because that the Get Kid and Swirlies was also a thing, that they were talking about that in the neighborhood because Josh, and that they were teaching her that since she was a little kid to paint, and that it just seems really like not the type of thing when I'm painting, and when I'm painting well, how things good to do group painting seems kind of stupid or whatever, that it's not really with me, that I could do it as a nice courtesy thing, but I'm more interested in doing other stuff and whatever else that it is, that it's really bothering me, that I just don't really know, that like just like waiting off for people and stuff like this too, that it's really just like not that cool to me. And let me continue about my health in the next video.